I'm waiting. I can't tell if I'm streaming yet. Oh wait, yep. Yep, I am. I'm streaming. Hello. Oh, I see comments. I do. How is my sound? Can you how well can you guys hear me right now? How is my sound? And also, is there any lag or anything like that? Is it going good? Tonight we got a casual discussion, general. You guys can ask me anything really. It's an anything discussion tonight. Hello guys. Sound is good. That's great. Am I in college right now? Yes. Okay, yeah. Hey everybody. So I just decided to like randomly stream because I love you guys. And we haven't had some one-on-one conversation in a while. I've been doing these little live streams over on Patreon for those guys. And they're always so cool because they're so intimate and calm. But yeah, I'm happy to see everyone. Yeah, I was thinking about Game of Thrones season 8. I've been thinking about it, and I've just been like, I know some people are so excited, but I'm just in my mind, I'm just thinking like, I don't know how this could possibly be good, and I don't want to like jump on anyone's, like hype. I don't want to like mess up anyone's hype, but I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm just like, I don't know how this shit could be good. I mean, it's been so bad for so long. I mean, just because it's the last season and they have a lot of money doesn't mean they're all of a sudden, it's just going to get good all of a sudden. See, that's my thing. I believe Alicia Kingston said something. Are you doing anything for Halloween? I'm so glad you asked. If you look on my channel right now, click on my channel and go to the community page. And there's like the promo for my Halloween live stream. I'm dressing up like a young Makoro from A Song of Ice and Fire. And we've got some... I'm going to go into 1984, which is a classic science fiction horror. Everyone's heard of 1984. Very few people have read it. Everyone's heard of it, but very few people have read it. So yeah, I'm going in that. It's a really scary book actually. And then we got a Lovecraft reading that I'm doing, and I'm going into all the scariest bits of A Song of Ice and Fire. Going to talk about the Night Fort and all the stuff that I think is really scary. And then I let the people on my Patreon make some suggestions. So it looks like I'm going to be doing Stephen King a little bit too. It's going to be fun. It's going to be like a Halloween spooky night. I'm going to dress up. Got my costume all ready to go. I got a fog machine that I just bought. It's going to be so great. I can't wait personally. Dune. There are some scary bits of Dune maybe that I could put in there. The Jackarutu stuff is kind of creepy, I guess. Reread Mountains of Madness. You reread Mountains of Madness. This is a great one. Great one from Lovecraft. Who do you think will die next season? Hopefully everyone. Hopefully everyone dies and the Night King wins. I'm so done. I can't fake it anymore, guys. And it's like, you guys know I'm done. You guys know I'm done. Because every time someone's like, who do you think's gonna die? Who do you want to live? And you want to die? I'm just like, kill them all. I say that often. I'm just like, kill them all. Like, I want all of them dead. But I don't know. I don't even... It's hard for me to like even say anything about Game of Thrones season 8 or even like kind of get excited because it's like been hurt too many times for me to just get excited about it. So it's just like I just kind of have to wait and see. And if it does something for me and it's good, then wonderful. If Game of Thrones season 8 is good, wonderful. I'm not gonna hate on it. If it's good, it's gonna be great. I will love it more than anybody if Game of Thrones season 8 is amazing. But wait a minute. I will love it more than anyone if Game of Thrones season 8 is amazing. All right, but it doesn't mean I'm like hyped about it. But yeah, to answer your question, have I read Hyperion? What does this look like, motherfucker? Yes, I blew through this book. I blew through Fall of Hyperion. I blew through Endymion. So good, so good. Thank you all for recommending this book to me. Like all the people that have been saying Hyperion for the past several months. This book hooked me. Hyperion especially just hooked me. And like that story in the beginning with the guy and like the 70, like the cruciforms, that's creepy as heck. And then the one that really touched me the most was, I forget his name now, the guy and his daughter who's aging backwards. Oh, such a good one. Least favorite one was probably the Braun Lamia one, because it was like, I was like, is this gonna be a like private detective story where she falls in love with the robot guy, or he's not a robot, but whatever, you get what I mean. And that's exactly, it was just predictable, and I just, that one was like, yeah. But most of because it's, so Hyperion is a science fiction series, if you don't know what it is, and it's got a bunch of different like little short stories that all tie into the main story in the world, where like in this distant future, about 400 years in the future, I think, and it's all revolving around this planet called Hyperion, and there's a lot going on, way too much to explain. Your Dune stuff is top notch. Thank you so much. I really try on that Dune stuff. I think I got a super chat that I missed. Steven Stark. Thanks, dude. Thanks for the super chat, man. Yeah, well, thank you. I really try. I really do. And the God Emperor of Dune video was a labor of love, and working on getting this Malky video out. That should be up. Should be tomorrow. I don't know. I've been having like problems with my internet, not being able to upload. Because like I don't even want to get into it. Technical stuff, blah, blah. People get bored when I get into the technical stuff. But yeah, I'm probably going to get that up tomorrow. Hey, bro, I love your videos. I think I watched them all. So that's kind of an impressive. If you watched all of my videos, it's pretty impressive to me. I have, how many videos do I have? I don't even know. Over 100, at least. CBG19 and Quinn are my favorite Dune YouTubers. Quinn with the epic summaries and breakdowns, and CBG with the book discussions. I love Comic Book Girl 19. I think Comic Book Girl 19 is one of the most awesome people on the entire internet. What is the best beginner Lovecraft book? I've never read any Lovecraft. Well, if you're going to go with Lovecraft, you want to go with a short story. And I always recommend The Call of Cthulhu for the first short story. It's iconic. Everyone's heard of Cthulhu, but like it's like 1984. Everyone's heard of Cthulhu, but very few people have read that short story, and it's actually a really good story. So that's the one that I always point to, because it'll get you into them. It hints at the creepiness, it hints at the larger world and the scope of everything, but it doesn't quite show you, but it hints at it. So it'll make you want to go out and read some other stuff. But don't think that you're gonna read Lovecraft and find a book that explains everything, because you're not. That's not gonna happen. Lovecraft, he peeks into that dark corner. He peeks in, but he doesn't let you see all the way in. He lets you know that there is something hidden there, but he doesn't let you see all the way in. And that's kind of the appeal of it too, because it's like the horror, your mind fills in the blanks, right? Oh yeah, Shadow over I can never say it. Innsmouth. That's a great short story. The Dream Quest of Kadath. I talked about that in one of my videos, actually. That's a great one. And that's not exactly like even necessarily like a horror. It's kind of more like a fantasy little story. Have you read any of the Thousand World books? I read like a few things years ago, but like I haven't read very much of it, no. The world needs more rants on how GOT show has gone to shit. Well, you know, people get so mad at me when I talk about it. Well, some people do. Some people love it. Some people love it when I'm trashing Game of Thrones, but then some people get pissed about it. And it's not even shit posting. It's not even because people get, okay, how do I say this? People kind of jump on their like high horses. It's just outrage culture. You're just outraged about Game of Thrones because it's popular to hate Game of Thrones. No, bitch, no. Like, I have never, ever been the type of person that ever cared about what was popular. Anyone that's been following me for long enough knows that's true about me. I have never given a rat's ass about the popular opinion. I will always say what I think, no matter what. So, it's not about being part of an outrage culture or any of that stuff. It's about just pointing out what's bad, and it's about me. Yeah, there is some personal bias, because like I always say, I've read these books and I fell in love with the books. So when I feel like the show is insulting the books and insulting me, I get it's kind of an anger response. I'm not saying I'm not even saying I'm honest enough to admit that maybe it's not even a 100% rational response. It's kind of, most of the time it's always grounded in, you know, I have rational reasons for the stuff that I don't like. I'm always telling you the reasons. But yeah, I react to Game of Thrones maybe more harshly than I would something else. Something that I don't love the book series for. And that I don't have a tremendous amount of respect and passion for. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I started reading Dune because of you. Thank you so much. My dad and I are closer because of it. Yes! I'm so happy you just said that. I'm glad. I really am. Because Dune is just such a... Comic Book Girl 19 always says alchemical. And I think that's a good word for it because it'll get into your subconscious and start to make you think very differently about a lot of different things. I know because that happened to me. That's just not me talking. I feel like I read Dune and it made me think about a lot of different things way differently than I had thought about them before. And like and a lot of things clicked in my mind when I read Dune. Are you going to do anything on the Wheel of Time? Perhaps one of these days. It just depends on if my audience would be interested in that. Yeah, I want to move on to as many series as possible, and I know Wheel of Time is a great one. And I've thought about doing videos on the Wheel of Time often, but it's such a bag of cats. The Wheel of Time, it's like 13, 14 books. How many books were in the Wheel of Time series? A lot. And there's a lot going on. And it's like, to start something like that is kind of an investment. It's an investment of a lot of time on my part, and I have to make sure that I'm going to get some kind of maybe return on that before I definitely say that I'm going to do it. Because I don't want to just dip into it and then just never talk about it again because it wasn't successful or anything. But we'll see. Anything's possible in this world. Looks like I got a super chat from Walter, the Einstein Frog. How much do you think they will change the Fremen in the new Dune, for instance? I'd be surprised if the term jihad was used. I really hope that they don't try and change this book to appease the modern social climate. I really hope they do not. And that's something that I've thought about too, and I've been really worried about. It's just the fact that people associate Muslims and Islamic culture with terrorism. And the Fremen are very much inspired by Muslims and Islamic culture. But it's not just that. There's Sunnism is Buddhism as well. So it's not just Islam. But people... I don't know, man. I can just hear the cries of cultural appropriation. From every side of the political spectrum, I could see people bitching about this and like being... And I just really hope everyone chills out and realizes that this is a book that was written in 1965 and literally has nothing to do with any of that crap that you're talking about. And yeah, I could see people getting offended because of the fact that the Fremen start a jihad. I could see people getting offended because of that. I just really hope they don't change it to suit political correctness or to suit anybody's new age political whatever on any side. There's so much like new age political BS on both sides that it's just like, fuck all of you people. Like, who? It's a story. It's based off of a book. Like, chill out. Glad to be a patron. Love your videos. Yeah, thank you so much, dude. Have you read the Fire and Blood excerpt? Yeah, and I'm not gonna talk about the excerpt. We're gonna get to that when that book comes out. That's a whole book that we got to talk about. That's a lot of content for this channel. That's what people don't realize. Everyone's been like, when are you gonna talk about the excerpt? Screw the excerpt. The whole book is about to come out next month, and we can talk about the entire book. So yeah, that's gonna be great. I can't wait. There's a lot in there that it's a lot of juice to discuss. A lot of fun. This is a whole new book. It's gonna be great. My cat got me pregnant. Well, I'm not exactly sure how that happened. Will you do more content on Mr. Avalon? That is definitely in the works. Mr. Avalon is definitely coming. Right now, the next video that you guys will see will be my Dune video on Malki, who was a companion to the God Emperor, and he's a really interesting guy. Because he actually knew the God Emperor, and he was key in Leto's downfall. Who do you think will get the Iron Throne in the books and the show? You know, this is funny. I was recently asked this question, and I gave the answer that I always give. And it's that the Iron Throne is not going to be around I don't think in the end of all of this, I always say that I feel like the name Game of Thrones for the TV show is a misnomer. They shouldn't have called it that, because it implies that this whole thing is about the throne, which it's not. This is the Song of Ice and Fire. It's about nature. It's about the balance. It's about balance in everything. And everything's off balance. The balance of power, the balance of the seasons. So it's not about the throne. I think in the end, the throne will be... King's Landing is going to go up in flames. The throne might be destroyed or whatever, but it's not going to matter anyways, because it'll have to come down to the people of Westeros stepping up for themselves and realizing that these High Lords, they're not gonna save us, maybe, and that we gotta do for ourselves, because I always say, who's suffering the most? It's not the Targaryens or the Starks or the Lannisters or any of these gigantic, powerful houses. It's the common people whose villages are being burned. When Tywin Lannister says, burn the villages, burn the farms, show them what it means to choose the wrong side, what are you talking about, Tywin? They didn't choose anything. This is just where they live. They don't choose... The common people, the people whose villages that Tywin is burning, they did not choose this. They're dying and starving because of the decisions of these higher ups. That has to stop. That is the wheel that must be broken. So the Iron Throne is not. It's not the thing. I think the Iron Throne's got to go. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of the archaic. It's a symbol of the something that we don't need anymore. This ridiculous feudal system. You're king just because your father was king. That's ridiculous. We don't need that, and I think it has to end ultimately. Looks like I got a couple of super chats. Julio, I can't pronounce your last name. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Any Dark Tower content in the future? And have you seen the film Annihilation? Definitely not watching season 8 before Winds of Winter, and that is going to be a long winter. So Dark Tower is definitely on my list. I'm seriously considering making Dark Tower videos very soon. And yes, I did see Annihilation. I really enjoyed that movie. What's her name? Natalie Portman was really great in it. My favorite part is the part where she's in the chamber and she's like, not Natalie Portman, but the higher up woman, and she says, I forget what the line is. Our cells will be divided until their smallest parts, and she just says the word annihilation, and then the score just starts booming, and it's like, oh, such a good score in that movie too. It's just a great freaking scene, and then that mimic scene at the end was so freaking cool. I remember like having like discussions with my friends for hours about what this creature is and what it was, and I thought it was fantastic. I know some people didn't really like it, but I thought it was really good. Are you going to watch The Witcher? I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I'll give it a try. I really like the games. Well, I've only ever played Witcher 3, but I've never read the books. But I'll give the TV show a try. Henry Cavill is playing The Witcher. I think he has the look. Give him like the silver wig, silver goatee. I think it could work. Yeah, Natalie Portman is in Annihilation. Big fan. Glad. Can't read tonight. Big fan. Glad to catch you live for once. What are your thoughts on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell? If you read it or even seen the series. I have not seen that series. What is it about? I have not seen that series. Let's see. I actually have not seen. I would like to know what it's about. That's an interesting name. Quinn, you need to read the Witcher books. That's what everyone's telling me. Everyone's telling me that they're good. And playing that game, Witcher 3, it's like I get the sense that there's a really deep lore to this, because I often describe it as like, because if you're playing through the story mode of the game, like the main quests, I guess it's like, it's kind of like you're reading a book, and then sometimes you play a game in between. There's like really long sections of like dialogue that give you like exposition about like the backstory of like this gigantic universe, this gigantic world. So yeah, I think I'll give the Witcher books a try one of these days. Considering any Ender's Game series vids, I do love those books. A lot of people just think it's one book, but it's several books. There's like Ender Shadow, and then there's an actual sequel. And there's several of those books. Maybe that book has a lot of interesting topics that I'd like to go into one day. But right now, I'm going to kick off my 1984 discussions on my live stream, which is, you're just getting in, live stream October 31st. Look on my channel, click on the community tab. You can see like the promo for it. Gonna be dressing up like a red priest. I've got like a robe. I got a ruby. Got like a fog machine. Gonna have some guests. And we're gonna kick off some 1984 stuff in that live stream. And like I said, 1984 is one of the best classic horror science fiction books that everyone's heard of. It's one of the ones that everyone's heard of, but very few people have read. And it's gonna be badass. It's gonna be so good because there's a lot of great stuff in that book, and it's so important. It's so important, especially now. It's important now in this day and age. I really do think so. I think more people need to know about that book and what it's all about. Like that scene where the guy is telling him that imagine the future as a boot constantly stomping down. He says, imagine a boot constantly just stomping down on the face of humanity. That is the future. Because he's saying that we'll just constantly be oppressed. And it's like crazy because like when you're in, if we lived in a society like that, like 1984, which we kind of are starting to live in, it kind of becomes increasingly more and more difficult for a revolution. And when you're doing things like thought crime, convicting people of thought crime, it gets really scary. And then what they did in 1984 in particular, which is very scary to me, is that they limited language. It's very, when you start censoring people, it's a slippery slope. People need to read this freaking book because they limited language in order to limit essentially thoughts. They limit language in order to limit thoughts. If you can't find the words to express something, then you really can't think about it. If you think about the way our minds work, we're thinking in language. We think in language. When you think in your mind, you're thinking in words. If they limit the amount of words that people know, they're kind of limiting the amount of thoughts that you can express. And that is very freaking scary. That is very freaking scary. So, yeah, we're going to get into that on that next stream. And it's going to be good. They had an episode of Voyager about thought crime. I can't remember if that's a good one or not. Ooh, so Jonathan Strange and Mr. Knoll is an alternative history about magic in England and how it mostly disappeared and it's coming back. That's really cool. That's really interesting. Cthulhu 2008. Why vote for the lesser evil? I'm voting for Cthulhu. I say take us, Cthulhu. Take us. Take us, O Dark One. Rise. Rise from your watery halls. No. Okay, you see, but look, Lucas, you're right. You're totally right. But when you live in a society where the government watches everyone so closely, it becomes impossible. When thought crime is a thing, because one of the characters says, eventually we won't even need thought crime. We won't even need to convict people for thought crimes because we'll just limit to, because there won't even be the words for them to express thought crime. So like they're not gonna make up words anyways because the moment they do, thought crime, exactly. So you're gone. So that's the thing. That's true. That would be true like now, but it's not true once the government has the type of surveillance power that they had in 1984. So I can't wait. I don't want to talk too much about it now because I gotta wait till like the Halloween stream to get spooky with you guys. No, get spooky. Reality exists in the human mind and nowhere else. That's such a good quote. I love your channel. You got me into Dune and Game of Thrones. Thank you for all you do. Never stop being you. Well, thank you so much for the kind words. I always appreciate you guys being kind. Kelvin, I read your comment and the answer is no. I watched the Handmaid's Tale series on Hulu. That's scary as hell too. Ugh. Yes. The Handmaid's Tale, I haven't seen season 2 except for like one episode, and then I didn't. The first episode of season 2 kind of just felt like it was going in a direction that I didn't want to go into. But season 1, oh God, what's her name? That actress Elizabeth Moss from Mad Men. She's so fantastic in Mad Men. That is a scary future for sure. Scary future for sure. We don't have a lot of information on it yet, but a Wheel of Time show has finally been greenlit by Amazon. Any thoughts? Okay, so Amazon's getting it because we've been hearing it tossed around for so long. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, and I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'd say they could cut out a lot of that filler. I'm sorry if you just really, really, really love Wheel of Time, but some of those books, some of that stuff is like a lot of filler, and I feel like Robert Jordan was like, I'm just gonna keep it going because it's making money essentially. But it's a really good story at the core of it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I streamlined it a lot, and I think it can be done. You can pull off a like Game of Thrones thing with it. Be cool. Julio says, "What are your tips of reading multiple books, mainly fantasy at a time? Have you played Bloodborne? Have you seen Sinking City and Call of Cthulhu?" All right. Tips on reading multiple books at the same time. I mean, I just do it. I don't even know if I have any tips. I just do it. I'm always reading multiple things. There's never a time where I'm just reading one thing. I guess I'm just really used to that. I guess it's more difficult if you're reading two things that are. It's easier to read like a science fiction book and then a fantasy book instead of reading two fantasy and two at the same time or two science fiction at the same time, because so you don't get confused between the two. So I guess that's an example. And no, I have not played Bloodborne, but I have heard of that game. And I've not seen Sinking City. I have not seen it. Is there weed in A Song of Ice and Fire? I bet there is. I bet there is somewhere. I know there's gillyweed in Tolkien's books. So that's interesting. There's hemp in A Song of Ice and Fire, says Derek. That's cool. Dunwich Horror is a good story. Absolutely. Another one of Lovecraft's great stories. Another show that I was watching on Hulu was Castle Rock. And it was good for the most part. I really did not like the ending. I felt like the ending was too open-ended. The ending was too open-ended. I'm fine with like ambiguous endings, but I feel like this one was too open-ended, and I didn't really. I was like, whatever. And then I thought okay, there's a smile at the end of it. There's like it ends on a guy smiling at the screen and it fades out, which was a little bit cringy, but you know. I'll tell you what. Okay, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, and you know I would only do this in front of you guys, but no one else. It's very embarrassing. I'm really enjoying American Horror Story Apocalypse right now. I am, because I really liked American Horror Story Coven, because I have this kind of thing for witches. And if you don't know, American Horror Story Apocalypse has brought back all my favorite witches from that season, and they're kind of merging all the universes. And it's really great. It's really great. I just love witchy shenanigans. The last episode was great. You have like this kind of flamboyant like warlock guy, and then you've got Madison, who is like the best witch in all of it. I love her. And she's so great. And like they're doing this duo thing. They go back to the murder house from season 1. They're talking to all the ghosts. It was so good. It was so good. I was laughing. The whole episode. It was great. I enjoyed it so much. It was so funny. You know, I won't say that Coven was good. I can't even tell you that Coven is good as in like actually it's good. But I liked it because I'm partial to witches. That's my thing. I will never be like, this is a great show. I can't say it's a great show because it's not a great show. But it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Like for instance, in Cult, I'm not Cult, but in Apocalypse, there's a scene where all these people drink snake venom and die. And anyone that knows anything knows that you can't die from drinking snake venom. Venom has to be injected. It's not poison. That's the difference between poison and venom. Like, come on. But yeah, that was freaking stupid. But then right after that scene happened, like the witches showed up. So I was like, okay, I can't be mad at y'all, because y'all brought back my favorite magical women. I was saying this on the Patreon stream. Ever since I saw The Wizard of Oz when I was like a little boy, like I just love the archetype of like the magical woman. Like, you know that I'm messed up in the head because I'm over here rooting for the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm over here like, yes, kill that bitch, get those slippers. Because I'm messed up. I like witches. I don't know, and especially bad witches. It's a thing. It's a thing. I can't help it. It's a thing. I can't help it. You can if you have a sore or scratch from mouth. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. But like, that's totally not how it was in Apocalypse. It was like they had drunk cyanide or something. I'm like, that's not how that works. What's your favorite A Song of Ice and Fire book? My favorite A Song of Ice and Fire book is A Feast for Crows. I stand by that book. I think it's beautifully written. People love to hate on it, but I think it's a fantastic book. I love A Feast for Crows. I love all the Lady Stoneheart stuff. I love the Brienne stuff. People like to hate on the Brienne chapters, but I think they're beautifully written chapters. I love Brienne's adventures through the Riverlands. That book is for me. I really enjoyed Cersei's descent into like paranoid delusions and madness and that kind of like spiraling down that she goes through. I really enjoyed the Arya Bravo stuff. I love Feast for Crows. I really do. Penny Dreadful was the best TV show of the decade. Penny Dreadful was a really good show. I think I enjoyed probably season 1 the best. Season 2 was the season with witches, but season 1 was probably the best for me. And yeah, I enjoyed that show a lot. I wish it hadn't have ended so soon. But then, if I have to pick, I was gonna say, if you want to talk about a perfect show, perfect television show, this isn't even a fantasy show. You want to go with Mad Men. Mad Men all the way is one of the best television shows. So underrated too. Enough people don't know about Mad Men. Mad Men is one of the best television shows ever. It's like they took a time machine and just went back to the 1960s. I didn't live in the 1960s. I can't vouch for that, but you know what I mean. It's such a great, perfect writing, perfect acting, perfect costumes, perfect sets, perfect casting. Breaking Bad too. I'm not diminishing Breaking Bad, but I'm saying Mad Men. I mean, come on, Mad Men. I mean, I love Breaking Bad. I love it. Breaking Bad season 5. That final half season 5 of Breaking Bad. That episode where everything's hitting the fan and Walter goes on the run. Oh, and he takes the baby, and I was just like, you can ask my roommate. I was staying on campus at the time, and my roommate can vouch for this. I'm literally on the floor in the corner, watching it like this. Oh my God, Walter, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because I just felt I was like so nervous for him, like yeah. So yeah, I'm not saying Breaking Bad isn't like master television either, but Mad Men. Mad Men is Mad Men is for me. It's just it's my shit. The Wire is another great one. You know what else? The Wire is definitely a great show. HBO has a lot of great shows other than Game of Thrones that people don't even think about. Like Oz was, I guess, kind of a precursor to The Wire. It's a prison show. It's not like great or anything, but it was very provocative for the time, and it was very like kind of. If it wasn't for like Oz, there would have been no Wire. I could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me. I'm pretty sure Oz came out first, and I'm pretty sure it was Oz that told HBO, okay, now we can do a really, really good show like The Wire. So, yeah. Not saying Oz is bad. I'm just saying that like Oz did have those like stereotypical television moments, and then Wire was like just really looked at it from a different perspective. Haven't really seen that much of Rome. I've seen some of it. True Detective season 1. Dude, you don't even know how hurt I was when I found out that director wasn't doing it, because I was like, oh my God, that dude would do it so well. He would have done Derry so well, because he just captured like that sense of just like, some bad happened in this town. Some evil shit happened in this town. And that director totally captured that sense in True Detective to the point where it was almost supernatural. And so like I would have loved to see his take on Stephen King's It, which, make no mistake, is Stephen King's best book. I know a lot of people say The Stand. I have a copy of The Stand right up there. I don't know if you guys can see that on the shelf. Probably can't, but it's like up there beside those pop dolls. But yeah, Stand is great, but it is I think it is Stephen King's best book, hands down. A lot of the costumes and set people moved from Rome to Game of Thrones. Interesting. So everyone's saying Rome is great. Okay. Let me square up with you people, because one of these times, some of you guys out, it was some of you, and I blame you guys. You guys told me to watch Black Sails. Okay, I need answers. I need answers. Because I tried to watch the first episode of Black Sails. And when I saw the sex worker with like perfect modern makeup and like perfect hair and she looked like she had walked out of a Victoria's Secret catalog, not that she was a prostitute on an island full of pirates. Like and it was just, I don't know. Is it actually good? Is it actually a good show? Because that first episode, it didn't. I don't know, guys. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know. Oh, Julio. Thanks for another super chat, Julio. Thank you so much, dude. Call of Cthulhu is coming out on the 30th. Sinking City is in March. If you watch... Oh, you're talking about the game. I did totally hear of that. Yeah. So that's interesting. So that's coming out on the 30th. That's really interesting. I might actually play that, because I need some Lovecraft in my life. And maybe they can capture the feeling of Call of Cthulhu in a game. Because the thing about Call of Cthulhu is like you can't adapt that into a movie. It's not really adaptable, because it's like a series of like this. Basically, Call of Cthulhu is like this guy finds this like little box that his dead uncle left behind as he died mysteriously of a heart attack, and he's finding all these like pieces that piece together this big story about this cult that worships Cthulhu. And yeah, it's basically back and forth between like all that and like all the little short stories. Okay, what are you guys saying about Black Sails? Are you defending yourselves? Someone says Black Sails sucks. Black Sails is really good. It's definitely not perfect. You kind of have to be into pirates. But that's the thing. I am into pirates, though. I am one of the few people that can get behind some of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Okay, I felt like, okay, what was the last one they came out with? Whatever the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie was, that one really fucking sucked, because it was like Johnny Depp was like totally phoning it in. He was like not even there, like he just like dead inside or something. So like, yeah, if Johnny Depp isn't like in it and he's not giving me the Jack Sparrow life, then I can't watch those movies. But usually I can get behind Pirates of the Caribbean, even though they're not good movies. But I really tried on Black Sails. I guess I'll try it again, but we'll see. But yeah, like the acting wasn't very good, at least not in that first episode. And then I just thought, and when I saw that girl who did not look like she belonged there, I'm just like, she's so out of place. Oh, I didn't even notice this. I see on the side here, the YouTube panel keeps up with all the super chats, so I don't have to hunt them down. So it'd be easier not to miss them. I didn't even know YouTube had that little feature. That's great. Okay, I'll try Black Sails again. I'll try it again. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, but I know it is coming. These Hyperion videos. I've got to talk about Hyperion. I'm really digging that series. I really got into it. Finished the Demon. That was really good. And yeah, I can't wait to tell you guys about it, because it's one of those like really big, rich science fiction universes that has a lot going on. You can tell he was inspired by Dune in a lot of ways. Dan Simmons. I don't know if that's for sure, but I feel like every science fiction person was inspired by Dune. The guy that developed the game No Man's Sky, was one of my all-time favorite games, said that Dune was a huge inspiration for igniting his love of science fiction. So, yeah. Do you believe, Young J123 says, do you believe the Reckon
Shaggy reference is what? Or is something that... Or is something I have a theory, and do you think Mance is Mance? Not... I don't know what you're saying. Do you believe the Recon... I think you mean Rickon. Do you believe the Rickon Shaggy reference is what is? Or something I have... I don't know what you're trying to say. I really don't. But to your second part, do you think Mance is Mance? Yes. Well... What you mean in the books? I mean, we obviously know in the books that Mance Rayder got glamored with Rattleshirt, and he's off in Winterfell doing some stuff. But yeah, he is who he is. Try American Gods. A lot of people have recommended that show to me, American Gods. Have you heard the theory that Star Wars is stolen from Dune? It's not a theory. Like George Lucas has admitted to borrowing heavily from Dune. And Frank Herbert actually called him out. There was like a... I posted this on Twitter once where Frank Herbert was saying, yeah, like Star Wars totally ripped off my shit. But yeah, it's true. Anyone that denies that Star Wars took heavy inspiration from Dune is just lying to themselves. You're lying to yourself. It's true. Star Wars is like... It's Dune for the masses. It's like... If I took Dune and just removed most of the substance, it would be Star Wars. And I'm sorry if you like Star Wars. Honestly, I've been so afraid to say this for so long. Star Wars sucks. I've never liked Star Wars, even the old ones. They're boring, uninteresting, and I just don't like anything about them. I understand that at the time they're groundbreaking for filmmaking and cinema. I totally appreciate all of that, but I don't get anything out of those movies. Never have. And I don't know. I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but like I don't really care. I don't really care. I've never. I tried with this new reiteration of Star Wars. I went to see The Force Awakens. I went to see Rogue One. I went to see Last Jedi, and never done anything for me. I just never liked them. I'm just like whatever. I've always just felt like whatever. I'm like, I mean, it's watchable. It's good, I guess. And I don't know. But that's the thing. So many people grew up on Star Wars that it's like people are always gonna love that stuff, and that's something that I understand. I understand loving something that you grew up on, so that's something that I can respect. That's something I can respect, and I don't want to crap over anyone's childhood. So. You know, I'm not even saying that they're like bad movies either. I'm just saying that like, for me it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean. You want a good story, structure, and engaging TV. Watch The Expanse. The guys who write the books are George R. Martin fans. Okay, I've been trying to make time to watch The Expanse, and I think I'll just go ahead and like watch it tonight actually, because I've been I've been looking for a new show to watch anyways. I think I'll just watch The Expanse tonight, because that's the one that I've been meaning to watch. I blew through Last Kingdom. I liked it. It wasn't as good as I had thought it would be, but I really liked Last Kingdom a lot, though. But yeah, The Expanse, I'll get on that. I definitely will. Because even George R. Martin tweeted once that he was like, The Expanse is really good. So if anybody, I trust that guy. Isn't it getting a season 3? Because I know it got canceled at some point in time, but I thought they brought it back. Watch Daredevil season 3. Yeah, I just found out like the other day that is out. I'm excited about Daredevil season 3. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons. I particularly loved the second season because of Elektra. I think Elektra is she's so hot, and she's so like just like badass, and just I love Elektra. So best rendition of Elektra ever, and that's not saying much because like the Jennifer Garner Elektra was just laughable. But yeah, I love that actress that plays Elektra, and I love that Daredevil show. It's really good. It's much better than Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and both of those shows have been canceled now. And honestly, good, because Luke Cage I felt like was pandering to me in just like this weird way. I just felt like, like it's kind of like
oh, this is what black people like, and I'm just like, and then all the black people that I know are just like, no, this is so pandering. And then Iron Fist, which just felt like it was made for kids or something. I don't know. Iron Fist sucked. It's trash. Iron Fist is just trash television. But yeah. But yeah, Luke Cage is just like Daredevil is the superior show. And then Jessica Jones is kind of like its own thing. Jessica Jones is like, I can get into Jessica Jones a lot. Jessica Jones. I really enjoyed the first season of Jessica Jones a lot. Second season was a little bit further downhill, but come on, man. David Tennant killed it as Kilgrave in that first season of Jessica Jones. Killed it, dude. David Tennant, that'll always be my guy. Ever since Doctor Who, I'll always love David Tennant. I'm always saying that like the Doctor Who people, at any point in time, they could just offer him $1 bajillion, and whoever the current Doctor is could just regenerate back into David Tennant. No one would be mad. Every fan of Doctor Who would love them. They'd get better ratings. I guess I'll watch this. What's her name? Jodie Whittaker playing Doctor Who now. I think the first episode already aired. I guess I'll give it a try. I haven't been a fan of the last few seasons of Doctor Who, but bring David Tennant back. Bring him back. He can do it. Just make him regenerate back into himself, and no one will question it. I won't question it. No one will look down on anybody that's making the show. We'll all love it. Just do it. Looks like I got another super chat from Young J Way. I meant, do you think the Shaggy Dog reference is what is or something more? I still don't know. Do you think the Shaggy Dog reference is what? Do you think the Shaggy Dog reference is what is or something more? And yes, Mance in the books. And which of the two, more likely George R. Martin, Mad got killed off? Oh. Okay. So you're saying. I feel like you're asking me, like, out of those two characters, which is George R. Martin more pissed off that got killed off? I think he'd probably be more pissed off about Mance, because Mance is actually like really off doing some cool stuff in the book, and they just like kind of kill him in the show, just kind of like fuck that whole plot that George R. Martin had, which I think is kind of disrespectful. So I feel like he'd be more upset about Mance. So there's a Shaggy Dog story. So is George R. Martin upset about Shaggy Dog? A Shaggy Dog is a pointless story. Oh, whoosh. 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 Okay. So when you said Shaggy Dog, I just thought about Rickon. I came to this channel for A Song of Ice and Fire and became interested in Dune, wondering what the gist of it is. Or is it sort of like asking what the gist of A Song of Ice and Fire is? Yeah. Asking what the gist of Dune is exactly like asking what the gist of A Song of Ice and Fire is. You know what I recommend to you? I recommend you go and watch episode 1 of Ultimate Guide to Dune. It's 30 minutes long. It'll get you into the story. It'll totally get you in. It'll tell you everything you need to know to get started off, and you can watch my entire series. You can watch my entire series. And it'll totally tell you what Dune is about. Dune is a science fiction series that takes place approximately 20,000 years from now. So it's 10,000 AG. That stands for After Guild. And that's basically 10,000 years from the point in which they had safe, faster than light space travel. And it's about a lot of things. It's about governments and how they work. There's a giant feudal galactic empire that's ruled by an emperor, and you've got this one planet, Arrakis, which is the only source of the spice melange. So it's kind of a trash planet because it's all desert, but it's also kind of the most important planet in the universe, because without it, the universe literally couldn't function. No one could really travel anywhere safely. It would just be a mess without Dune. So yeah, that's what Dune's about. But yeah, I recommend watch Ultimate Guide to Dune. If you want to know about Dune, I recommend that to everyone.
I wish I could get I wish I could get like people that actually know to watch it. They don't. Quinn, yes, Shaggy Dog was named for a Shaggy Dog story. See, I didn't even know that. See, I'm an idiot. But see, I don't know terms. Do you think that Davos's quest to look for him will be a pointless story, or will it be successful? So now I get it. It'll probably be pointless. Probably turn out nowhere. We'll see. It's so hard to guess stuff like that. I'm not saying the werewolves are aliens, but they're aliens. Interesting. The werewolves could be aliens. I mean, I feel like there could be aliens living on this planet, you know. Panspermia, you know, like stuff just falling in on an asteroid. One day we're gonna find some shit like at the bottom of the ocean and be like, this DNA structure is totally different from any DNA structure that we've ever seen before. And it's goddamn alien. LOL, so funny. I effed up the question twice. I'm asking, do you think the Shaggy Dog's reference is just what it is, or a flip on, or if... Dang it, now the comment disappeared. See, that's... God, I hate reading the chat sometimes, because... Oh, you took the comment away. It disappeared as I was reading it. Message retracted. Oh, message retracted just as I was reading it. Dang it. I can't, oh. What do you think of film adaptations of Dune? Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually planning on, before the end of the year, putting out a big episode on David Lynch's Dune, where I'm just going into it, pointing out its flaws, pointing out what I like about it, and kind of comparing and contrasting it to the actual novel. So I'm kind of doing that big thing. And bottom line is, I really like the David Lynch Dune movie a lot. Really, I think the first hour of it is pretty solid. Goes off the rails for the rest of it. The rest of it is just kind of falls apart. So yeah, and that's happening. As far as the sci-fi miniseries, the first one is okay. It's kind of more accurate than... It's a lot more accurate than David Lynch's Dune. But the one that they did for Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, which is just called Children of Dune, I think is actually pretty decent. For what it is. And James McAvoy does a fantastic job as Leto II. He's a great actor. That dude has some acting chops. And I was watching a clip the other day, and I posted this on Twitter of him talking about how he read Dune when he was younger, and how it had a huge influence on him, and that how he was excited to do the role. And listening to him talk the way he described Leto, I could tell that he really did have a deep understanding of the character, which was great. And the funny thing is, right before that, I had just watched an interview of the actress that played Aaliyah in that season, and it was very clear to me that she really didn't get Aaliyah, and she really didn't get what was going on with that character, but James McAvoy did. And so that was really cool, and he was great. He was great. You answered like 6 of my questions. Can we be friends, please? I'm friends with you all. All of you are my friends. Hey, friends. Hey, friends. What's your favorite A Song of Ice and Fire chapter, and why? God, I know some people can easily say what their favorite chapter is, but I can't. That's way too hard for me. Let's see. Forsaken, obviously, is a really good one. I really like the chapter when Sansa escapes King's Landing. I think that's a very intense chapter. My heart was pounding really fast in that chapter. Daenerys at the Dragon Pit when Drogon comes. It's a very good chapter. That's definitely up there. The Daenerys Dragon Pit chapter is up there high. It's really good. Because you don't know what to expect reading that for the first time. I'm not your guy, buddy. Okay, Killer Rune. Okay, you're not my guy. Oh, you're right. You're right. That last Bran chapter is freaking fantastic. That is such a good chapter. I actually did a live stream a really long time ago where we all read through that chapter again, and we kind of like did some off the cuffs theory crafting and trying to figure out what's going on. It's one of my favorites. I've talked about it a lot, actually. Do you think Rob's will or child will come into the story? Ah. See, I'm hoping that, what's her name? Can't think of her name right now. Jane Poole. I'm thinking that Jane Poole is pregnant. I'm thinking that she is in the book. I'm thinking that she is. And a lot of people forget that Robb Stark legitimized Jon Snow. So I definitely think both of those things will come up. So that'll be interesting to see. The wedding is definitely excellent chapter, and it's more impactful in the book too, because a lot more characters that you know die. These are characters that you've been with for several chapters. Did I say Jane Poole? God damn it, Westerling. Westerling. Why did I say Poole? Sound like a fucking idiot. Westerling. Yes, the Westerlings, the minor house, not Westerling, not Poole. Yes, yes. So that's why it's cool to do stuff live, because if I misspeak, I can correct myself. You know, some people will not correct themselves no matter what. You know, I've been on a stream where someone has like misspoken, and then like I don't even call it out. I just like keep talking as though they did misspeak, and then they like get snippy with me because they think that I'm like reiterating something that they said. But I'm like, no, you didn't say it right. Ugh. I think guys, that I'm probably like done doing streams with other people. Like I've got some people coming on my Halloween stream, but after that I think I'm pretty much done streaming with other people in the A Song of Ice and Fire community. Like that's so over, because it's just like, community, please. Don't mean to sound cynical, but fuck all of you. I mean, that's harsh. That's harsh. But yeah, some things have happened recently where I'm just like, God, you did not trust people. People are snakes. People are absolute snakes. And it's just like, I'm just going to focus on my channel and just solo content from this point on, and just like not even go on anybody else's channel and just be like, just me. Just me. Me. I'm going to focus on myself and like my audience, and yeah. So, and you know, who hurt you? Who hurt you? You know, we don't need to say who it was, darling. You know, I've got my Mariah level shade. I don't know her. I don't know her. I wish I had some tea. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. You want to say hi to the peoples? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. You want to say hi to the people. So people have so much crap to say about pit bulls. People always want to talk crap about pit bulls, but pit bulls are some of the sweetest little pups. This is my major. This is my major domo. Major domo, my little Moneo. Moneo, say hi to the peoples. You like them? Okay. You can go back to sleep now, buddy. But yeah, you guys don't gotta worry. My podcast, I'm taking steps to improve my podcast, my solo podcast with just me, from now on, and I'm taking steps to improve that and just make it even better than ever. Because when it's just me, I don't have to listen to anyone else, and I don't have to go on other people's streams and have them talk. I don't want to, because I'm so like over everyone else's like crap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I'm over like the fake enthusiasm, the pretension, the clickiness of it all. Like, just like, I don't want to deal with any of that. By the way, this stream is not, this is a one-time stream. This stream will not be on YouTube, so if you're here, this is the only time that you can see it. But yeah, I want to focus on just making really good science fiction and fantasy content, and just moving on from even being a part of the A Song of Ice and Fire community. I don't even know if I really want to be part of that label anymore. I just want to be a channel that makes videos about A Song of Ice and Fire and Dune and Foundation and Hyperion and whatever fantasy and sci-fi that he wants to do. And, you know, that's me. And I thought about maybe even doing like a name change or something. But I think Ideas of Ice and Fire, it's too catchy and that's who I've been. And you know, and I don't even, it's not even any, you know, LML is great, dude. LML is great. And like, I don't have anything against him. So don't start that rumor. LML is really cool. But this is just a decision that I am making personally. Because that's what I want to do. You think there's any chance at the end of GOT TV show reaches some sort of satisfying conclusion? I hope so. See, I was saying this on a different stream where I was like, I've been hurt so many times that I can't say for sure. I hope that it would be good. No one would love it more than me if it was actually good. But I can't be like, I think it's gonna be good, because you give me several seasons of subpar material, and then I can't just expect the last season to be good just because it's the last season. Oh, looks like I got another super chat from an awesome person. Dafid Brooks. Dafid. Is that a real name? Dafid. That's an interesting sounding name. Have you read Eldrick of Melonbone or Elfquest by Philip Pullman's his Dark Materials trilogy? It'll go on the list. Definitely go on the list. See, I read stuff that you guys tell me. I put all this stuff on the list, and it's a long fantasy list. I've got to get through Mistborn, Stormlight Archives. Got a lot on my list to cover, and so, you know. Have you read Berserk manga? Don't read a lot of manga. Don't read a lot of manga at all. Yeah, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's how I feel about the Game of Thrones show as well. I wonder if the Night King would accept Cersei's hand in marriage and call it a day. Oh God, I hope so. 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 Just to piss off all these little fanboys that just love their Daenerys and Jon Snow. So I'm so evil. Oh my God, I would love it if Daenerys and Jon Snow just fucking died, and then Cersei teamed up with the Night King, and they just ruled over everything. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. I'm nuts. And I know that's not going to happen, but I can have that little delusion. It gives me pleasure to think of that. It gives me pleasure to see their little faces like, Daenerys, she's dead? Dany's gone? It gives me pleasure. But it looks like my stream health just dropped. I'm not sure why. Hopefully it picks back up. We've been going for about an hour. Do you write? I'm a writer, and I wonder if you write as well. Your videos help me get in the writing mood. I write sometimes, and it's a lot of fun. I write more for fun, and I do have short stories that I write and I read myself. I post some of them anonymously on like little apps for writing and stuff, so that's a lot of fun. Thank you for the super chat. Whoa! Wow! Dayhan! I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for the gigantic super chat. You are freaking awesome. You're freaking great. $100 super chat. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. You're freaking amazing. Oh God, you guys are so awesome. You guys are so awesome. You guys keep me going. You guys keep me moving forward. I swear. I swear. That is definitely a super chat. For sure. A super chat. Cersei is a badass in the show. Look, I can separate book Cersei from show Cersei. Like, pretty much book Cersei has almost no redeeming characteristic, but show Cersei, Lena Headey does something to me, and like something about it when she destroys her enemies, I just think, yes, do it, because I want to destroy my enemies too, and I live vicariously through her. All those people that told you that you would never be queen. All those people that told you that you were never good enough, and that you were past your prime, and that you should just go back to Casterly Rock and die, and that you should just bow down to this younger, more beautiful girl, and that you're nothing anymore. Yeah, she showed them. And I think all of us can relate to that. All of us can relate to that. Like, all of us want to destroy our enemies in a great blaze of fury and then sip on that good wine. I'm a nerd. I'm drinking water. I wish it was wine. But yeah, all of us want to do that. All of us want to do that. That's my favorite if meme ever. Like the sept blowing up and her just sipping her wine. It's the greatest meme of all time, in my opinion. I love it. And yeah, Lena Headey's, man, amazing actor. Top it off. Just amazing actor. She's so freaking good. Come on. Love the channel. Thank you. Not really a fan of A Song of Ice and Fire. Made it about 120 pages in the first book and quit. I love your Dune stuff. Well, you know, A Song of Ice and Fire is something that is not for every single person. Just like Dune is not going to be for every single person. I know everyone probably wouldn't like Dune. Everyone wouldn't like A Song of Ice and Fire. So, it is what it is. You're not going to like every single book. You know, I always get people telling me, I get so many angry messages all the time about people that are like, I hate the Kingkiller Chronicles. I hate Patrick Rothfuss. He sucks. Why did you recommend this freaking book to me? Actually, one of my closest friends read Kingkiller Chronicles recently under my recommendation and couldn't even finish the first book. I was so hurt. She said she just thought it was boring and that she thought Patrick Rothfuss was a bad author. Everyone's not going to like every book. It's just a thing. Do you think Book 6 may be disappointing, like how Book and 5 weren't as well received as the first 3 books? I know fans don't like Book 4 and 5 as much. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. People don't like Book 4 and 5 as much. And I also think it's like a trendy thing to say they don't like the books too. I actually think that Dance of Dragons is actually superior to Storm of Swords, but whatever. It'll be disappointing. I don't know. So that's the thing. You can't put your expectations up here. You need. When I read a book, usually what I'm doing is I'm turning everything off, and I'm just going into this universe and accepting the stuff as I see it coming. You know, that's initially when I'm reading it for fun. If I'm doing it to make a video for the channel, of course I'm analyzing every detail. But, like, really, you should just absorb the book and let it wash over you. That's why I feel like people couldn't get behind Feast for Crows, because they're reading it, waiting constantly for Daenerys or Tyrion to show up, instead of just letting the book wash over them, you know? I mean, it might be disappointing. It depends on who you are. Yeah, I'm a Rick and Morty fan. I have a Rick and Morty poster over there, actually. Where's my wallet? I don't know where my wallet is, but, like, I have a Rick and Morty wallet as well. I love Rick and Morty. It's a great show. But really, though, you have to be kind of intelligent to really get Rick and Morty. I'm just saying that you kind of have to have a high IQ to understand what's going on in Rick and Morty. I mean, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. Whatever. Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. Read to be entertained. Read to be entertained. Yeah, I will always tell you that A Feast for Crows is my favorite book. Doom Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Now, those are some exciting books. I feel like those books, that book series is like if someone took Magic the Gathering and made a book series out of it. I feel like I've said that before. But yeah, that's how I feel about Malazan, Book of the Fallen. I love it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of crazy magic going on. Ricky Morty is edgy for nihilist teens. Nihilism is a part of it. I'm joking. That's the Rick and Morty joke. That's you gotta have an. It's not actually true. Yeah, but nihilism is a part of it. But I really connect with Rick as a character, and I wish he. I don't know. I really connect with the guy. I just feel like I like him a lot. I like the show. It's a fun show. I mean, you don't have to think any deep. That's one of the things too. It's a cartoon. Yeah, it's deep on some levels, but I mean, a lot of it's. At the base of it, it's for entertainment, right? It's like Futurama. Futurama had some really, really, really just like touching, deep, heartfelt moments that really just like struck right at the core of the human experience. But at the core of the show, it's a funny, like kind of goofy show. But you know, so don't take it too seriously. And I can talk about my love for Futurama for a really long time.
I've always said that I feel like Fry's arc in Futurama is one of the best science fiction arcs. It's very reminiscent of a lot of different stuff, but it's a great science fiction arc. I love it because if you don't know what Futurama is about, so you have Fry. He's kind of a loser in the year 1999. Gets frozen, goes to the year 3000, and he gets to be a loser in the year 3000. But it's in the year 3000, so everything is more exciting and more fun. But there's a lot more to it, and you really like. Fry is such a charming character, and he has a lot of heart. And there's one episode in particular that kills me, that just destroys my soul every time that I see it. And that's the episode where there's the 7-leaf clover, and Fry had this dream to be the first man on Mars, and he gets sent to the future, and he realizes that everything that I've ever known, everyone that I ever knew is dead. All these dreams that I had are dead, and he realizes that his brother took the 7-leaf clover that gave him luck and became the first man that went to Mars and stole his name and all that stuff. So he feels like he had his legacy stolen by his brother. But then at the end of the episode, he realizes that it wasn't his brother. His brother had named his son after his brother that went missing and given him the clover. And he went off and did the things that Fry couldn't do. And it's just a very touching episode, and it just makes me... It's a tearjerker. Definitely a tearjerker. And then there's, of course, the Seymour episode that everyone talks about. You know, Futurama is one of those childhood shows that really affected me a lot, and sci-fi references galore. It's just a great television. Very underrated, I think. Futurama is one of the most underrated shows of all time. But yeah, Futurama. Do you play RPGs? Sometimes, yeah. I really thought you were going to say Seymour episode because that's another one that there are a lot of episodes of Futurama that do that, yeah, that are really deep. Like that's one of the shows that if you watched it as a kid that I do recommend going back and rewatching because there's a lot of good stuff there. Do you like Star Trek? Do I like Star Trek? Do you not see the Enterprise? Do you not see the Enterprise right here? Do you not see this? Pew, 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 pew. Of course I like Star Trek. Are you kidding me? I'm sitting here talking about Futurama. Like, Futurama had Star Trek references galore. Hello, Poppy. What you doing? I think it's about time. I think I gotta take this guy outside pretty soon here. Yeah. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wind down, guys. I gotta take this puppy outside. He's getting a little restless. Next Generation will always be my favorite Star Trek show. Always. And then I think it would go Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, probably Enterprise, then the original series, and then you got Voyager way at the bottom somewhere. Okay, puppy, you want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye to the people? You ever watched Cyber 6? I have not watched that, but what's that about? I don't know. Yeah, you want to say goodbye? Wave bye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Oh. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. It's been great being on the stream with all you guys. Everyone, thanks for your super chats. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for all your kind words. Make sure you show up on October 31st on my epic live stream. Dressing up. Check, like I said earlier, check the channel. Click on the community tab, and you can see the promo for that there. And that's going to be so much fun. And I'll see you guys later. It's been real. It's been real. You ready, guys?